happened yet. So let's look at the Cincinnati Utah game. College game day is coming to town. Such a great time for college football fans in both great cities of Salt Lake and the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio. We got this game at 10:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Moon, I was saying earlier that this game is late, and you know how me and Jalen do the recaps. I was like, I would rather watch this game than do a recap. So if we're going to do a recap, we got to do a late recap. Like the late, you know what I'm saying, show. Like, I'm talking about 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. Ain't nobody going to be watching, but we going to do it anyway, right? So these two teams, fun fact, have never faced each other. I think that's really interesting. Of course, Cincinnati come in, you know, moving over from the G5 ranks to the P4 ranks, and the Utah coming from the Pac-12 to the Big 12. So it makes a lot of sense. But I look at both of these two teams. Both of them are trending in the right direction. Both of these teams have outstanding coaches, and I don't want you all to think that I dislike Scott Satterfield. I just didn't see it as a fit. I also thought he was on the hot seat watch. When we started talking about Black Sunday and a lot of coaches being fired this year, I just didn't see how well they'll be able to compete. Now, let me tell you when my mind started to switch about this team. It was before the season. I can tell you when it happened. It was around July 4th in Fort Worth, Texas, for the Big 12 Media Days, and we had an opportunity to talk to this team. I had an opportunity to sit down and talk with their quarterback, Brendan Sorsby, and he was laser focused. And you guys should go back and watch it. He was laser focused in his discussions. He was talking about just some of the disappointments he had in the prior season, how he thought they left a lot of meat on the bone, and then his expectations. I thought they were a bit lofty, but the thing I love about going to a media days is that you may feel a way about a team prior to, but you'll feel differently, whether it's better or worse. Like, you'll feel differently about the team after you talk to them. Like, TCU was one of those teams. You know, it's like, what Sonny Dykes going to do this year? But then after we talked to everybody, man. And after I had the opportunity to talk to Bud Clark, I'm like, nah, TCU is better than advertised. Utah looked amazing in the first half, tailed off in the second half, praying for Colorado. Yeah, things are bad for Colorado. But some of that is Colorado's fault. I can't sit here and lie. But Utah was another team. I didn't talk to Devon Dampier on camera, and some of the best conversations I actually had with people were off camera, which is frustrating. I talked to Andy Staples. I've seen Andy Staples at like 3 events now. And every event I see him at, I always dab him up and say what's up. And we always end up talking about shoes at some point. But we were just talking about Utah, and I was like, yo, Utah looks legit. Like, you see Spencer Fano there, you see Devon Dampier there, and Devon Dampier has this aura about him. He has this presence about him. Like, when you walk around, you know he in the building. Shorter in stature. When you shorter in stature, you just had this chip on your shoulder. But he was just walking around like just full of energy. And Moon began the Utah talk before that. But I think it increased the moment after he seen him at media days. He's like, okay, the way I feel about them. And that was how I felt about Baylor. I looked at, you know, some of them teams that we saw there, and some of them were small, but like Baylor came in looking like an NFL team. I'm like, these guys may be legit. They may be as legit as I think they were. And they're not. They're not at all. They're nowhere close to that. But Cincinnati, 17th in the country, looking damn good right now. I think they should be higher in the country. They put hands and feet on Baylor this past weekend, and they're red hot. And this game is going to be a simple game. A lot of times when I do previews and predictions, I like to really get into the nuances, and I will still do that here. But to me, it comes down to one thing. Defensively, can you be disciplined? Can you be gap sound? Can you make sure that number 4 on offense don't get loose? Texas Tech did it amazingly. Romello Height did an outstanding job, and the 3-3-5 that they played there because he held his ground. Nope, I dare you to hand the ball off. Hand it off. Like, because you're not coming this way. You have to play sound against Devon Dampier. It's a lot of moving pieces. You see a lot of different motions. It's a lot of bells and whistles. But at the end of the day, if you're going to beat Utah, you better stop number 4. Because once he a sicko like Diego Pavia. Because once he gets hit a couple times, he's comfortable. Like, he's ready to play then. But you have to play sound defensively. I haven't even got to the point of, where I'm talking about the schemes and stuff, but you got to play sound defensively. This game is really simple. Win a war of attrition and don't let number 4 if you Cincinnati beat you. That's what it come down to. So Scott Satterfield gave my apologies in the opening, and I'm not sure I can apologize enough. And I'm not sure, and I think I apologize for myself, but I also apologize for some of my brothers at CFB Nation, because a lot of us didn't like this hire. We're like, you go from Luke Fickell to Scott Satterfield. I'm not sure. Then you see after year one, it was an instant, even though they did go from the group of 5 to the Power 5 conference and Power 4 conference and the Big 12, you still saw a natural drop-off. And then you look at Louisville. We saw an uptick with Louisville. They were in the ACC Conference Championship. You see the attention to details and the discipline that Jeff Brown brings to that team. So that was our thought process. And, when you evaluate and you do the amount of research that we do, you looked at this, you said, I don't think this is a good fit. But Brendan Sorsby should be one of the stories of college football, and not enough people are talking about him. Why people aren't talking about Brendan Sorsby and this Cincinnati team is mind-boggling to me. When you think about the game that they lost, was the first game of the season. They lost to Nebraska, neutral site, but it was pretty much, in my opinion, it was a Nebraska home game. And you saw that they had opportunities to win that game. Nebraska had every reason to turn that game into a blowout, but that game came down to the last drive. And Brendan Sorsby is legit. And the one thing I think that slips the minds of a lot of people when it comes to Cincinnati, because you don't expect them to be a really physical team, because you don't expect a lot of Big 12 teams to be physical. This team is really physical, and they want to win that war of attrition on the line of scrimmage. They 100% want to win that war of attrition on the line of scrimmage. So I love what I'm seeing out of Cincinnati this year. Kyle Whittingham, the standard. Just some coaches he's a standard of what a top-tier coach in the sport looks like, because he's continuously had success there. I know they had a down year last year, but they got active. They figured out the pieces that they were missing. They were able to get those pieces. And top 15 nationally in both offense and defense. Kyle Whittingham, that's what he brings to the table. That's 100% what he brings to the table. So we always talk about the away team first when we start to break down the schemes. I'm a Brad Glenn guy. I really am. Run heavy gap seam, leveraging play action, and quarterback mobility. And we've seen Brendan Sorsby get active this year. 829 yards on the season, 19 touchdowns, just 1 interception. He's playing sound football, mistake-free football. He can beat you with his legs. He can beat you in the pocket. He can beat you on those off-script plays out of the pocket. This kid is the real deal, and he's not being talked about enough. He's not being talked about enough. It just hasn't been. And this team is so legit. I tell you, this team is so legit. And they're scary good, bro. I promise you they're scary good. It's just like one of those things where, of course, we know that in this here sport of college football, SEC is just always going to get top tier everything. And Big Ten has been there, especially with them winning the last 2 national championships. So I don't think the Big 12 gets the coverage it deserves. But before the season started, a lot of you guys heard us talking about the Big 12 because we love the Big 12. Big 12 is probably, it was the ACC for the longest, but the Big 12 is my favorite conference. But the American is surging, bro. I may go on an all G5 Media Day tour. I told Moon that already. But love what Brendan Sorsby is bringing to the table with his 20 touchdowns, 1 interception on the season. You can't be mad at that at all. You really can't. The kid is just playing outstanding. I think Evan Pryor provides a lot of balance for this attack as well. He's averaging good yardage per carry, got 478 yards on the season. And then Allen is a red zone nightmare at wideout. So I love what this team brings to the table. But their scheme is, I think their scheme changes sometimes too. I think they want to be run heavy in a gap system, but sometimes they end up being pass heavy. They're 29th nationally in total offense. They're 4th in red zone efficiency at 97%. Teams that have high red zone efficiency are typically teams that win a lot of ball games. That's typically what you get. It's a team who wins a lot of ball games. And their drives are surgical. They don't mind them little old school. Yeah, let's go have a 9-play, 10-play, 11-play, 12-play, 13-play drive. Yeah, let's go do that. So let's talk about this defense. It's a pressure-driven front with hybrid linebackers emphasizing pursuit and discipline. And that's what you need in the Big 12. That's 100% what you need in the Big 12. I think the thing about this game, though, you really have to win a war of attrition on the line of scrimmage because not many teams are built the way that Utah is built, right? So this defense does give up a lot of yardage per game, 368 yards per game. That's 71st in the country. It's not good at all. They rank 28th nationally in scoring defense. So it's a bend, don't break type of defense. This is what you're going to get with them. And I really like what Cincinnati brings to the table, both offensively and defensively. Yes, they give up a lot of yards, but try to go score in that red zone. It's a little bit difficult. So let's talk about Beck and his scheme. We hear positionalist basketball a lot. He kind of has like a positionalist because we've seen him, run myriads of running backs there, but motion heavy attack designed to stretch leverage and angles, and this system is built around Devon Dampier and his skill set. 267 rushing yards per game. That's 5th in the country, bro. Parker 503 yards on the season, right? Devon Dampier 1,300 yards, 13 touchdowns, 4 interceptions on the season. He's so difficult to stop, but he's the engine that runs that off, and it's hard to stop because they can run the ball too. He's not the only one that can run. But for me, the key in winning this game, if you play gap sound, you understand your run fits, you play with great defensive integrity, you have the opportunity to beat them, but you cannot let Devon Dampier get you for a 15-yarder here or a 20-yarder there, or it's going to be tough. And then Morgan Scalley, who's supposed to be the heir apparent once Kyle Whittingham decides to hang it up, 9th nationally in scoring defense at 14.3 points per game, 7th in passing defense at 148 yards per game, and their front floor plays with elite pad level. That's what you're going to get with them. You get gap control, and the secondary thrives in man coverage. They dare you to beat them on the outside. They dare you to beat them. This team is in the Big 12, but they don't play like Big 12 defenses play. I need everybody to understand that. This team, and I've said it for the last 3 years, reminds me of a team that plays in the SEC with the physicality and their approach and their identity in winning the war of attrition on the line of scrimmage. That's 100% who Utah is. And shout out to Moon. Moon did the work. He did the research, and he thought this team was going to be really good. And they're right here in the thick of things. And they have an opportunity to be really special this year. Yards per play. We got Utah at 7, Cincinnati at 6.6. I like both of those numbers. From what I've seen so far this year, 6.2 seems to be the average. If I see teams in 5, I say, yeah, you're struggling a little bit. Turnover margin. Cincinnati, +5. They're +5 not because their defense forces a lot of turnovers. And they've been okay in that department, but what it's been is their offense isn't going to turn over the ball. That's what's impressive about them. Utah at +3 red zone efficiency. We told you earlier, Cincinnati is 4th in the country at a 97% clip, and Utah not too shabby. They're 24th in the country at 91.7%. Those third down conversions, Utah is at 54%. That's 3rd in the country. Cincinnati's at 47%. This is why both of these teams are top 25 teams. If you can play that success rate game on 3rd down and you have a dynamic quarterback where if it's 3rd and 5 or less, 3rd and 4 or less, you're willing to get them 2 plays. Now, Cincinnati, if you have any chance of winning this game, you got to slow down Devon Dampier. That's going to be a crazy environment. It's tough to go into Salt Lake City and leave out with a win. It's really tough, but you got to play sound. You got to play the best football you played all year. You really do. You have to play the best football you played all year. I know offensively they're going to play mistake-free, and they need to keep it that way. They got to play mistake-free ball, but defensively, they have to play with gap integrity. They got to understand their run fits, and they cannot let Devon Dampier win this game. You cannot. If he gets going, they lose. They lose every time. So I got a bold prediction for this one. Cincinnati wins this game because I do think they'll play gap sound. I think there will be times Utah has success, but I think some of their drives will end in a 3 instead of a touchdown. And it's Cincinnati, they're great, 4th in the country in red zone efficiency. So when they do get into the red area, they plan on scoring in that red area. I know Utah fans are going to be upset with me, but give me Cincinnati to win this game 31-27 in a shootout. This game probably doesn't end until 1 in the morning, after 1 in the morning. So if you're a real college football fan, do you watch college football or do you just skim through it? When I say that, that's what I mean. You going to be up at 1 a.m. watching the game? We will. I can promise you that.